vice presidential candidate, Kamala Harris.
She is highly intelligent, a true trailblazer, beautiful inside and out, and very qualified for the job.
So we must vote like our lives depend on it, because they really do.
Speaking of, Attorney Tamara Williams is here to talk about the urgency of voting for all of us, especially young Black and brown adults.
So let's stay tuned and keep it locked.
Hi everyone. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for all that you're doing to help everyone in this country make their voices heard in this year's election and in every election. Your work has never been more important. From the ongoing pandemic to the passion and protests we've seen for racial and social justice, it's clear that we're in the middle of a big moment in this country. And that means we need leadership that honestly reflects who we are and what we stand for. Our job between now and November is to make sure everyone we know understands that the power to make change rests on our ability to cast a vote. Fair and safe voting is going to be more important than ever this year. And that's why When We All Vote is fighting to expand vote by mail, in-person early voting, and online voter registration. Now I'm going to be honest. We're really gonna need your help to make these efforts a success. Luckily, the first step is an easy one. Just spread the word. Make sure your friends, families, and communities are registered, know their rights, and are fully prepared to vote by mail this year or vote early in person. So, go to whenweallvote.org to find out more and get yourselves, your families, and your friends ready to make their voices heard. Let's get more folks across the country trained with the tools, the resources, and the information they'll need to vote, because this election couldn't be more important.
Hey guys, I'm Jakobi Davis here with Say It Loud, and today we're joined by Attorney Williams here to talk about the urgency of the young vote. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, let's hop right into it. So what do you think is different about this election in general?
Well, what's so different about this election is that, number one, we have Vice President Joe Biden, who has picked Senator Kamala Harris as his running mate for, to be the vice president of the next vice president of the United States of America. And the reason why we are so pumped up about it is because she is an African-American woman, and this is the first time really in history that we have had an African-American woman as the VP pick in a major party. So we are excited. Not only, is she, the first African-American woman, but I have to give, a shout out to Kamala Harris as being an honorary member of the Links Incorporated. Yes, and so we are extremely, extremely excited. Not only that, though, in regards to the racial divide that we see that's going on in America today, right? We have people that are literally outraged because of the racial divide that is going on within this country, and it's also reaching other countries outside of the United States. But more so, we have a president that's in office now that it seems to be encouraging this type of behavior, as opposed to, basically shutting it down, so to speak. And so we want voters to remember that when they go to the polls. Not only do we want voters to remember that, but we have now, there are some of our Supreme Court justices that are in office, and when they get appointed to office, and this is a lifetime position. One of the justices, just to give an example, that is pretty much on her way out of the office is Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And the next president will, really appoint that fill that seat. Yes, so we want someone to fill that seat that is going to do right by the people, right? And so that's why it is so important for us to get out and vote, because literally, issues such as education, issues such as, abortion rights that we, issues such as, social equality, right. Things like that. That's important to us. And it's going to be important to us as we move forward. So, tell your friends, tell your families, tell your neighbors, share it on social media sites. I mean, vote, and vote, literally like your life depends on it, because it does.
That is so powerful. And I think you said something also really powerful, that we need something that's going to be uniting force in office for us.
That's absolutely.
Of course. And so, us being the youth out here and us being those young voters, what do you think is the number one issue that us young voters are facing?
So the number one issue I feel that young voters is facing today is education.
Okay.
And I say that because most young people, when they go, you're at the voting age, a lot of young people, they're going off to college and, trying to better themselves and further themselves. And a lot of them are coming from homes in which, their parents are working, regular 9-to-5 jobs, not, no, a lot of people, not rich, just regular working class people, so to speak. And if you're not getting scholarships, you have to pull out these loans in order to pay for school. And so what a lot of people are depending on is either loan forgiveness or something of that nature. But now we see the current administration, how they have voiced their opinion in regards to getting rid of the whole loan forgiveness thing. And that brings, at least for the young people, at least to me, it's troublesome, right? It's some concern. And so young people are thinking about that, or at least they should be thinking about that when they go to the polls. Not only should they be thinking about it from an educational standpoint, but even, if you have all of this debt attached to you after you graduate, and now it's like an issue of, okay, well, how am I going to pay my bills? Right. How am I going to make a comfortable living, so to speak? Yeah. So you want young people to think about that when they're going to the polls.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow, Attorney Williams, like you said, young people are facing many different issues right now, but even then, a lot of young people think that their vote doesn't count, or that voting simply doesn't matter. Can you explain some of the consequences that could happen if young people just simply decide not to vote at all?
It really breaks my heart when I hear young people say, oh, why am I going to vote? My vote doesn't matter. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. And that's simply not true. Right. Because just not even looking at, let's move from a national standpoint. Just let's focus solely on, I guess, a local standpoint, right? When you're talking about, when you vote in these local elections, you vote for the county commissioners, you vote for the sheriff, you vote for the district judges, and these are people that are literally making decisions on, law enforcement decisions that they're making. Yep. These are people that are literally making decisions when it comes to rental properties, when it comes to the issue of education, when it comes to these issues that we face every single day. And you want your voice to be heard in that process. After all, we do live in a democracy, right? So this is you have the right to exercise your right to vote. You have the right to exercise your right to the freedom of speech, and this and voting is how you get it done.
Yes, ma'am.
So your vote absolutely matters. I completely disagree with young people when they say my vote doesn't matter, my vote doesn't count, because it absolutely does. And the one thing that bothers me, right? You have a lot of people that say my vote doesn't matter, my vote doesn't count, or this, that, and the third, but they're the first ones that are to express outrage when things don't go their way.
Yes, ma'am.
It's like, well, how can you say something when you didn't even exercise your action?
Right.
So you had the opportunity, we have the opportunity come November, so you want to exercise that right.
That's beautiful.
Exactly. And what do you think about people that go to exercise that right, and when they're thinking about who they'd like to put in positions of power, what could happen if people decide to vote for a third-party candidate?
We know that Kanye West has decided to throw his name in the hat, and run for president. Right. It is highly unlikely that he is going to win the seat. And a lot of young people, they may think of it as, oh, well, because I don't like, Joe Biden, or because I'm not too fond of the running mate, Senator Kamala Harris, let me just do Kanye West because, I like the music, and, it's just, it's all fun and games. But with this election, right, it's not all fun and games. With this election, we literally have, we are really, everything is on the line in this election. So I would highly encourage you to either vote, not for the third party candidate, right, but for the two main parties that are in the out fronts, that are out there, either one or the other. One of them, they're going to win the White House, not the third party. Right. And that's just the bottom line.
Hey guys, thanks for tapping in today. And remember to go vote, because your life does depend on it.
We want to hear from you. Hit us up on social media.
And remember, your greatness cannot be measured. We hear you.
Say it loud.
And vote like your life depends on it.